The armor doesn't slow him down at all.
Maybe it just looks heavy, and it's actually not.
Still nothing.
Yeah, I mean, he said previously that the armor that he put on didn't restrict movement.
Right. And it was invisible.
You welcome us, won't you?
Hey. Oh, hey.
Nice to meet.
Hello everyone, this is Venus Brown and I am back with another episode of Solo Leveling. This is episode 11 called A Knight Who Defends an Empty Throne. Now I have to say that I started hearing some comments from people on some of my other videos that they were actually watching my videos because they weren't able to watch them on their usual platforms. And I didn't think much of that, because I had already pre-recorded a bunch of the episodes from Solo Leveling ahead of time, but I had not recorded these last two, episode 11 and 12, and when I went to try to do that, the website was not coming up. It was like the hosting was down or something, and I went and looked it up, and it looks like there's several anime sites that are like this. I checked one of the other ones that we go to, and it had episodes of Solo Leveling, but they were subbed, which I prefer dubbed because I have a hard time keeping up with subbed. I did find a separate website that was specifically for Solo Leveling episodes, and I have recorded these episodes from there. I will provide a link to that website in my description. Last episode was called What Is This, a Picnic? And that's because Jin Woo and Jin Woo, they had teamed up together to do a bunch of dungeon raids. And they're basically not using the people that they need to get into the dungeons so that they can raid the dungeons without having a bunch of extra people in there. And they're paying them a bunch of money, but all they have to do is sit outside of the place and try to, I guess, draw away suspicion, but they're having a picnic right at a dungeon entry definitely drew suspicion. If you watched it, you already know that. When I started that episode, I thought that Jin Woo was going to go on a date with the other girl and it was going to be a picnic, but that wasn't what it was about at all.
Before you watched the last episode, you had said that you thought that the whole picnic thing would be that he would, like, think that everything's so easy that he compares it to a picnic.
Yeah, what is this, a picnic? Yeah, because some people will make a comment like that when they think something is easy, so they'll say it's like a picnic or a walk in the park or something like that. And in a way, I think he had a conversation with his sister, I think earlier though. She was like saying, oh yeah, I bet you guys beat that dungeon easily. And he's like, actually, yeah, we did do that very easily.
The thing with the anime site and stuff, that happens a lot, and they usually just come back up under like a slightly different part after the dot. Like
right. Yeah,
something.
I think the one that we use had a .to, and the one that I still found available was, I think, a .ro, but it says it has dubbed and subbed, but when it came to Solo Leveling, I only found subbed, so.
Yeah. The official sites tend to not be the greatest. They sort of try to leech money off of you, and like there used to be good ones, but then they end up getting bought out by bigger companies and turned into cash grabs.
Right. And honestly, it's kind of irritating. Solo Leveling was on Netflix before it was on Prime. It's still on Prime, but you have to pay an extra price in order to use it on top of your regular Amazon subscription. The one on Netflix, it's no longer there. It's frustrating to me that they keep taking these things down, that they're removing them from the paid subscriptions that we're already using when they used to be on there. And I know they have their reasons for it, but I still find it kind of irritating. But yeah, I was seeing a lot of people saying that there were several sites taken down, didn't appear to be coming back up. It had been days, so. And I think the original comments we saw were from Crunchyroll, which Crunchyroll seems to be up now, so that's enough talking about that. We'll go ahead and start the episode.
The job change quest. I had to get to level 40 for this thing to even pop up. It's also unlike the penalty and emergency quests. And I've been given plenty of time to decide if I want to do it or not. Safe to assume this will let me earn the skills best suited to my job. Will make me stronger. Yes. I forgot to do my daily quest. I can do it when I get back.
Could you do it while you're in there and just have it count stuff while you're in there?
Wonder what sort of fun stuff is waiting inside.
I don't imagine it's going to be very fun, but
At
whatever.
least it won't be boring.
Yeah, and him not doing his job change quest means that he's not going to have any rewards that he can use if he's in a bad situation.
Let's get it. Forget yourself. You're giving yourself a pleasure. And Rose. Let's get it.
Sorry I'm late. It's been quite a while, hasn't it?
It has. What? I can't use potions or full recovery in this place? I also can't leave until I finish the quest. I'm gonna need to be extra careful.
What was his job in the first place? His career type or whatever.
I don't think he really has one. He's just the player, I guess.
Not a scratch. You're durable.
I've found that job change quests tend to be very strange a lot of times. I don't think the name always makes total sense.
Right.
Sometimes it's basically just an upgrade. It's not really changing your job.
Tough to break that kind of armor, but I've done it before.
I know I've done job changes on a couple games, but it's like usually something that I have control over what I'm choosing, and then you do some kind of quest to train you or whatever
I wasted a fatal strike on
for the
that
new
beast.
skills.
Can't recover my mana
Weapon
either,
use.
so that's great.
Goddamn motorcycles. Farting all the way down the highway.
How are things going with establishing the guild? I heard the two S ranks you reached out to have both declined your offer.
I'm negotiating with hunters from Europe and the Middle East as we speak. They're likely to sign if we agree to their terms, similar to the case of Dongsu Huang.
Smart move.
Yeah, very smart.
Jinho, I know that you've been working on something of your own in secret. Going out of your way to buy all these C-rank gate rights, which is fine for a personal project, if you stay in your lane.
He thinks he knows, but he has no idea. I have the boss on my side. With the power he has.
Damn, even I'm tired after fighting non-stop. Stealth. Now beasts are using that skill too? And here comes a mage, casting light magic no less.
I wonder if they're like analyzing how he does with each fight and seeing what skills he's using and shit.
I'm essentially reliving my past battles.
Or what he's good at.
My weak spot, though, is mages. Intellect the one that counters them, but it's also the one I haven't invested in. Then there's my fatigue. I need to end this.
The symbol reminds me of, what was that game that we played? Portal. It reminds me of the Portal symbol. Not exactly, but a little bit.
Excellent. I do believe this is everyone. It's time.
Beasts dropping canteens. Almost feel like I should thank you guys. Huh? A high-rank knight's chest plate? I haven't really experimented with gear much.
Well, maybe now's the time.
It's invisible? Nice. Doesn't restrict movement either. My next challenge is waiting behind this door. That's not a good sign. Some kind of throne room. It's different, but eerily similar. My body remembers this. It's the same pressure I felt in the double dungeon. Knight Commander Egress the Blood Red. Threat levels red too. A knight who defends an empty throne. He cut that pillar like it was a tree branch. His heavy armor doesn't slow him down at all.
Maybe it just looks heavy, and it's actually not.
Still nothing.
Yeah, I mean, he said previously that the armor that he put on didn't restrict movement.
Right. And it was invisible. Which also makes me think, what if the empty throne isn't actually empty and there's just somebody invisible up there?
We're equals in terms of speed, but he's way more powerful. Do I have any hope of beating this guy? He's tougher than I first thought.
Puncture his eyes.
Still, different beasts have different weaknesses. Let's throw hands.
He's like, okay, I'll play your game.
Chivalry's not dead, I guess. Be easy.
It's really happening.
Well, speak of the devil.
I can't express how grateful I am you approved this operation, but I'd still like to try.
Thanks to you, the island has stayed relevant, and that has helped sway public opinion.
You don't expect criticism for kicking a hornet's nest?
I do, but I'll take the brunt of it. Just be careful out there. Jeju Island is serious stuff.
I'm fully aware, sir. That third raid on Jeju never really ended for me. It's like the battle is still going on.
So what would a knight be weak in if they were super good at everything else?
Equipping armor was a good choice. Taking that attack full on might have killed me. And that was without his damn sword. He's too strong, but I have the speed. I can't!
Like, I want to say using your smarts and everything, but there's no guarantee that the knight isn't going to be very intelligent.
That passive skill raised my defense!
And he seems very quick and agile for a knight also, which I find unusual, but... It would make sense if you want a knight who's just really above and beyond, that you train him on all the shit and try to make sure that he's really practiced on all those things that most knights might not be good at.
That ought to do.
Oh, I didn't realize at first when we were watching it that the girl that was at the picnic thing was her friend from school. I picked up on it later. I was like, she looks familiar. Why does she look familiar? Okay.
No, I... haven't lost yet! That dagger can't change owners. It'll go to my inventory and then right back to me. Step deeper!
I like the illustrations.
I won, didn't I? I was close.
Yeah, when he did the sword thing, where they were just standing there and then all of a sudden he brought the sword, it made me think of, like, there's been several fights where
More of a fluke than a win.
one guy looked like he was doing really, really bad, and it was just he's enduring all the fighting.
He had me beat.
And the beatings and all of that.
Ability, technique, experience.
And just
surpassed me on every level.
Staying together, but not really utilizing a lot of his energy.
I just got 4 rewards. Someone was kind enough to leave me his helmet. This is their S rank.
Either not
gear
using a
I've
lot of
earned.
energy and then that way having the energy to keep on going, or just being one of those people that can take a licking and keep on ticking, and no matter how much you beat them, they just keep getting back up. Like, it reminded me of that.
Reduces physical damage by 15% and gives a 20-point boost to strength and vitality. The ruler's handstone? What skill is that? A teleportation stone. It won't go in my inventory. This isn't over yet. What's this all about?
Bunch of portals.
Good luck, huh?
Good luck.
A timer. I can handle guys like these easily enough.
Are you sure?
Though, there are quite a few. I keep fighting, but the gates keep puking up more and more. Stealth cost, I can buy at least 3 minutes. They saw through stealth? How long has it been? Only 5 minutes? I hate to, but I've gotta use the stone.
Just like last time. Not just like it, but last time he tried to use one of those stones. He lost it.
It'd be funny if it's, like, impossible to use the stones.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it makes it seem like you can use them, but if you ever try to, then something will happen that will cause you to lose it.
Yep. Ooh. And we still haven't heard anything really more from the guy from that dungeon that was trying to kill them. His brother. He had said basically that he was going to have his secretary pencil him in to come after these guys. It was amusing.
So he said that he had to wait.
Right, he had to wait because there was too much going on with the guild and everything. But then we haven't really heard anything from him since.
Because he hasn't had time to.
He's busy. And I thought that was kind of funny. That he's like, yeah, pencil me in later on to go and assassinate this kid. And he specifically asked about somebody from, like, overseas or whatever. So then that makes me wonder where he's actually from. Arise. Which isn't the name of the next season, Arise, also? Or...
I think so.
Yeah. So this was the penultimate episode. Next episode is going to be the season finale, which is called Arise. I'm assuming some big thing is going to happen for him to arise as a new something. I do kind of like what they're doing with this job thing. It seems like they're sending out multiple types of characters after him, so he has to think logically about how he's going to defeat them and everything. And hopefully that's giving him a little bit of practice in trying to figure those out. I wonder though if they're going to be analyzing him to decide what he should become, or if they're just going to do it some other way, or if they're going to let him choose. I don't know, but it's interesting. We're going to do this next episode, so we'll get the finale done. After this, we're supposed to go back and do the rest of Tokyo Ghoul Re. There's like a part 2 to Tokyo Ghoul Re, and then we're going to do a season of Demon Slayer. But I have to get online and find out if I can actually access these things. I can check on Netflix and Prime and see if they have them, but from what I remember before, at least for Tokyo Ghoul, I don't think that they had it. The chatter that I was hearing about these anime sites being down was that a bunch of them were down, but there were certain ones that were still up. If I can, I'm going to go ahead and record them ahead of time so that I have the whole thing. That way, if the stuff goes down again, we won't have to worry about it. I just figured out yesterday that it was a problem for us. Fun, fun, fun. There was another one that somebody had suggested, but I'm pretty sure that me and Talon have watched it before. I don't think we did reactions, and that was called Erased.
Yeah.
Because when I started looking at images, I was like, there's something familiar about this. This looks familiar.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we watched the anime and the live action.
Yeah. It was good. It was good. It was very interesting. But we've already watched it. Sometimes it works out okay for me because my memory is not very good long term, but it's still easier to do if I have not already watched it before. When I did Crown, I had watched a lot of The Crown, but it had been so long that I had forgotten a lot of it. That wasn't a big deal. Dairy Girls, I think I had gone through twice, but Dairy Girls, I liked it so much. Anyway, that is all I've got for you this week. I will see you next week with the season finale. Bye.
Is there more?
We'll just have to tune in next week to find out, won't we?
And remember, if you like this content, please click the thumbs up. And if you want to see more content, click subscribe. Ring that little bell and click all, and you'll get more notifications anytime new content comes out.